Okay, as I mentioned, good afternoon. I am Dr. Frias, the principal here at Williams, and joining me is Miss Mire Rodriguez, our fantastic FACE liaison, who's going to be translating this session into Spanish. Today, we're going to be kind of going over some of the important information that you need to know for your students who, based on our records at this time, one or more will be participating in full virtual instruction for the remainder of the 2021 school year. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Myra so she can translate that.
Hola a todos otra vez. Ella es la doctora Frías. Les da la bienvenida a nuestra sesión. En esta sesión hablaremos sobre los estudiantes que van a quedarse en la casa virtualmente y de eso se va a tratar la sesión de hoy.
So today, the things we're going to be talking about, I'm going to take a couple of minutes to kind of explain to you the difference in the hybrid and full virtual schedule so you know what to expect. We're going to speak briefly about student and parent responsibilities, and then we'll have some time to be able to answer or at least do our very best to answer any questions that you might have.
Esto es lo que vamos a discutir el día de hoy. Vamos a hablar sobre la educación que va a ser virtual completamente y también vamos a hablar sobre los niños que van a quedarse híbridos. También vamos a hablar sobre las responsabilidades de los padres y estudiantes y al final les daremos la oportunidad a hacer preguntas y nosotros trataremos de darle la respuesta a sus preguntas.
Okay, so we're going to take some time right now to kind of look at the schedule. So, and I forgot to mention this, if you have the ability to type into the chat your student's name, that would really help us out. If you have the ability to type in the chat, please type in the chat who your student is. So for today, let me go ahead and let Myra translate that really quick.
So, le queremos pedir un favor. ¿Nos pueden ayudar, por favor, en el chat poder escribir el nombre de su estudiante? Es muy importante para nosotros saber qué padres ya asistieron a nuestra sesión. So, con eso nos pudieran ayudar, por favor.
Okay, so for just for this, for an example, I'm going to be explaining through the 1st through 3rd grade schedule. Simply because it's right in the middle and the other grades are basically the same. The only grade level that's a little bit different is TK in kindergarten. So just to make it easy on everybody, I'm just going to explain through the 1st through 3rd grade schedule.
So vamos a comenzar con el horario del primer grado y tercero. La razón que escogió la directora es porque se parece mucho desde el primer grado hasta el 5º grado y sería como en el medio. Entonces ella va a explicar horario de los estudiantes que van a estar ya sean híbridos o ya sean virtuales.
Thank you. So here you can see we have everyone's schedule, whether they are hybrid or in person or full virtual, is in one spot on one page. So this is the hybrid side is on the left. So these are the students who are in person. And then the virtual students are the ones on the right. So these are your students based on our most recent survey information that you've provided. So the way that it's looking is that for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, the top here is the schedule that your students would go by.
En esta forma que ustedes recibirán por correo, estamos explicando el horario de los híbridos o los estudiantes que vendrán a la escuela y también están explicando a tu mano derecha los que van a ser virtualmente solamente. Los que les pertenecen a ustedes, está tu mano derecha en la parte de arriba y dice ahí estudiantes virtuales.
Okay. So for example, students who are reporting to Williams, our gates would open at 8 a.m. At 8:15, they would be meeting with their teacher in person. They would remain on the Williams campus until dismissal, which is at 11 a.m., except for TK and Kinder, which is at 10:30.
Entonces dice que, por ejemplo, los estudiantes que vendrán a la escuela aquí en persona van a comenzar la clase, tienen que estar aquí a las 8 de la mañana. Su instrucción comenzará a las 8:15 de la mañana y se irán a casa a las 11. Excepto por los de transicional y kinder, ellos irán a casa a las 10:30.
Now, during that same period of time, your students who are full virtual would be doing asynchronous learning assignments during that time. So asynchronous learning assignments are the assignments that your students would be doing on their own. One of the things that I want to point out about this asynchronous learning is they wouldn't be doing any kind of activities different than what they've been doing, but what would be different is that right now, up to this point, whenever your students are working on their own, they're still logged into Zoom and the teacher is kind of monitoring their work. That would no longer be the case. From this point on, when this schedule begins, your students would be expected to work on their asynchronous learning totally on their own, not on Zoom, while the teacher is actually instructing the students who are here in person.
Ahora, los estudiantes que son virtualmente o que van a estar virtualmente, ellos en la mañana estarán haciendo un trabajo asincronizado, lo que quiere decir que ellos estarán trabajando en sus trabajos que los maestros les van a asignar. Y dice que quiere decirles que ante los maestros, aunque los estudiantes estuvieran trabajando ellos solos, sin que los maestros les estuvieran dando la clase, los maestros estaban monitoreando a estos estudiantes. Ahora lo que es diferente es que los maestros, como van a estar con los estudiantes que van a venir aquí a la escuela por la mañana, no podrán estar monitoreando a los estudiantes que están en la casa estudiando virtualmente en ese tiempo. So, esa es la única diferencia.
Now you'll notice there's a switch in the afternoon. So here on the left, when the teachers are dismissing their in-person students at 11, that is when the lunch period begins from 11 to 12 p.m. So students who are attending in person will receive their lunch and their breakfast for the following day and go home. For students who are full virtual, during this period of time, they will have, and you can see it here on the right, they will have the opportunity to walk to Williams or drive to Williams, depending on what you guys have been doing, and pick up their lunch in the same way that they've been doing up to this point. Their school on Zoom, where they have a live conference with their teacher, it would begin at 12:15 and it would go until 3 p.m. Except for you can see there's a little 15-minute recess break. But other than that, their instruction would be from 12:15 to 3 p.m. So they're getting the same instruction and the same amount of time of instruction with their teacher. It's just theirs is happening on the computer in the afternoon. During this period of time, when the other students on the left here are working on asynchronous learning, same thing. Teacher is not going to be monitoring what they're doing because the teacher is going to be focusing their full attention on your students on Zoom.
So ahora queremos también mostrarles que de 11 a 12 los dos grupos tendrán su lonche. Son los estudiantes que vienen aquí a la escuela. Antes de salir, la maestra les dará su lonche y desayuno para el siguiente día y lo llevarán a casa. Los estudiantes que están virtualmente solamente pueden venir a la escuela ya sea caminando o en carro a recoger su lonche en el mismo horario entre 11 y 12. Y después de eso cambiará ahora la instrucción del maestro. So, ahora el maestro se va a enfocar en sus estudiantes que van a estar en casa virtualmente. So, su sesión con el maestro comenzará de 12:15 hasta las 3 y tienen un pequeño receso en el medio de 15 minutos, pero estarán de 12:15 a 3. Y los estudiantes que son híbridos o que vienen a la escuela, ya que se fueron a la casa, ellos seguirán trabajando de 12 a 1:20, pero ellos solos con los trabajos que el maestro ya les asignó.
One of the things that I want to point out too is that in this when this new schedule begins, which I forgot to mention, but you will be receiving the schedule in the mail. So You can take pictures of this screen. You know, you're welcome to take photos of anything that you want to have that information right now, or you will also be receiving this information in the mail.
La doctora Fría dice que si ustedes quieren tomar una foto de el horario, lo pueden hacer, pero también les queremos decir que ustedes recibirán su horario de su estudiante por el correo muy pronto.
So on the bottom here, you see that this is the Wednesday schedule. So Wednesdays are different than any other day. So the top part again of the schedule is just for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Wednesday is what is considered an asynchronous day, meaning it's all virtual for everyone. So whether they're in person, a hybrid student, or your children who are right now designated as being full virtual, everyone will be doing school from home. The entire day is primarily asynchronous learning, meaning they're not going to be logged into Zoom with their teacher. There is 1 hour that is built in for a Zoom time. So you can see here on the 1st through 3rd schedule, that's from 9:30 to 10:30. And that's an opportunity for teachers to take attendance for the day, to check in with their kiddos, connect with them. And then also this will be the only time every week when all the students from the class will actually be able to see each other, because during the week on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, only the hybrid students will see each other and only the virtual kids will see each other. On Wednesday, the whole class will be together once again for that hour.
También otra cosa que les queremos mencionar es que los miércoles serán diferentes para los estudiantes, o la parte de arriba es solamente para los días lunes, martes, jueves y viernes. Los miércoles el horario será un poco diferente y todos los estudiantes serán virtuales. So, aunque el estudiante sea híbrido, el miércoles el estudiante se queda en casa, no va a venir a la escuela. En todos los estudiantes, los virtuales híbridos, ese día se juntan todos y de 9:30 a 10:30 tienen una conferencia virtual con el maestro en Zoom. Y es cuando ellos se pueden ver con sus amiguitos, porque si sus amiguitos, por ejemplo, están híbridos que vienen a la escuela, ellos nomás se van a ver con los que están viniendo a la escuela durante el día, y los estudiantes que son virtuales se verán solamente con los estudiantes que son virtuales los días lunes, martes, jueves y viernes. Pero el miércoles, como es diferente y todos se quedan en casa, se podrán ver con sus amiguitos en Zoom de 9:30 a 10:30.
Right. Excuse me, I'm in the wrong thing here. Okay. So this is kind of just what we've already talked about, just again, pointing out that students will be expected to complete their asynchronous work on their own. Their teachers are not going to be monitoring like they're used to. So it's really important that, you know, you guys are monitoring that at home. The nice thing about the schedule is that even though their asynchronous time is on the schedule at a certain time, there will be some flexibility, you know, within that day. I mean, you guys as a family will have to determine what works best for your family. So if there's a time, let's say mom or dad or grandma or somebody is working during their day, there might be a better time in the evening when you're actually home, when you can monitor your student on their asynchronous learning. And that would be a-okay. That would be acceptable, and that would be actually encouraged. We want to start having you guys think about what is going to be the best time in your day to kind of check in on how your students are doing in their progress as far as their asynchronous learning or independent work.
Ahora vamos a hablar sobre cuando los estudiantes están trabajando solos. A los estudiantes tienen que completar su trabajo ellos solos. Los maestros, como dijimos, no estarán monitoreándolos. Ustedes, los padres, serán responsables de que los estudiantes terminen su trabajo cuando a ellos les toca trabajar solos o en tiempo de asincronizado. Y es muy importante que ustedes monitoreen esto. La directora también dice que va a haber un poco de flexibilidad, porque si, por ejemplo, en la mañana usted está trabajando y usted prefiere que el estudiante termine el trabajo más tarde para usted monitorear lo que está haciendo, lo puede hacer. Usted va a acomodar su horario como usted se le haga mejor, solamente para cuando el estudiante trabaje en el tiempo asincronizado o él solo.
So parent and student responsibilities, the most important things are that this is going to be a new schedule. So like we saw in the scheduling time, school, your kids are used to their day starting at 8:15. And for full virtual students, their day would now start at 12:15. So that's going to take, an adjustment to the routine in your household. So we encourage you to start maybe over the spring break, kind of talking to your kiddos about that schedule change, maybe practicing having them log in during that time, because the attendance is not going to change. They are still accountable for attending school every day on Zoom during their scheduled time from 12:15 to 3 p.m. So just we encourage you to help your students with that.
So, una de las cosas es muy importante es la responsabilidad que tienen los padres y estudiantes. Y una es que los estudiantes tienen que estar atendiendo la escuela diariamente. Es muy importante que cuando tengamos el break de Easter, que usted nos ayude a hablar con los estudiantes o la responsabilidad que ellos tienen de meterse a su clase todos los días y estar en su clase todos los días. Es muy importante que los estudiantes entiendan eso. Va a haber un gran cambio porque antes ellos estaban acostumbrados a comenzar su clase a las 8:15. Ahora comenzarán a las 12:15 y terminarán hasta las 3. Es muy importante que se hable con el estudiante de este cambio.
The other thing is, like I mentioned, it's really going to be important that your students and that you are checking with them on their Google Classroom, which is where their asynchronous work will be and assignments that are due, to make sure that they're doing their assignments. I encourage you to have them show you what they've done, walk you through their assignments to see what's submitted. Google Classroom by now should be familiar to your students. That's what all of our teachers utilize. So again, I can't emphasize enough, there's going to be a lot of work that your kids are now expected, whether hybrid or full virtual, all kids, for asynchronous time, they're expected to work all on their own now, and they won't be monitored on Zoom. So it's going to be really important for our parents and families to keep an eye on your students' progress toward completing their daily schoolwork.
Otra de las responsabilidades de los padres y estudiantes es que ustedes se aseguren que los estudiantes están completando su trabajo diariamente. Es muy importante que hable con su estudiante y le pregunte y que el estudiante le enseñe donde ya terminó su trabajo y que ya se lo mandó al maestro, porque ahora ellos van a estar trabajando solos, nadie los va a monitorear, la única persona que nos puede ayudar con eso es usted como padre, y asegurarse, hablar con el niño todos los días y preguntarle si ya terminó su trabajo y ya lo entregó a la maestra.
Also, I encourage you guys to stay connected. If you don't regularly message your child's teacher at this time, I really encourage you, even, if you're kind of new to Google Classroom, maybe it's kind of confusing to you, that's okay. I just encourage you then to utilize the messaging feature. It looks like texting on Parent Square, so that you are able to stay in contact with your teacher, your child's teacher. It would be a matter of possibly just once a week, maybe as a routine. You can have a certain day of the week when you reach out to your teacher and just ask, hey, just checking on the progress of my child, or, I just want to make sure that my child has turned everything in, or anything like that. And all of our teachers would be happy to provide that information to you. So I just encourage you, if you're not already on it, to make sure you download the Parent Square app, or you can use it on a computer if you have a computer or Chromebook, and then utilize the messaging feature. And if you don't know how to do that, you're more than welcome to contact Myra at any time. She can share her contact information, and then she can walk you through how to set it up and how to use Parent Square.
Otra cosa que es muy importante que usted esté conectada con el maestro, esté comunicándose con el maestro. Sabemos que a veces el Google Classroom usted no lo sabría usar muy bien, no se preocupe. Lo que es más importante es que esté en comunicación con el maestro. Si no lo hace regularmente ahorita, de verdad le recomendamos que lo comience a hacer por lo menos una vez por semana, mandarle un mensaje al maestro, usar el Parent Square para eso y decirle cómo está mi estudiante, si le hace falta algún trabajo, porque la comunicación es lo más importante para que usted se dé cuenta si el estudiante está atrasado o está mandando todos los trabajos al maestro. Si usted no sabe o no está conectado en el Parent Square todavía, le recomendamos que llame aquí a la escuela, pregunte por mí. Yo soy Mayra Rodríguez y yo le puedo ayudar a conectarse al Parent Square y a enseñarle cómo usarlo. Usted puede mandar mensajes en su idioma, lo recibe el maestro y el maestro le contesta en inglés y se traduce al idioma que usted prefiera.
Thank you. Okay, so before we move into questions, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop recording the session because that's all the information that we have. So let me go ahead and stop that at this time.